question 9, and it's taking data from our data set again. Okay, but always in stats, they'll give you the exact data points if needed. Okay, so never think to memorize the actual numbers. Alright, so part A, state with a reason whether or not this sample is random. Okay, well, it's happening on the 1st of May, 1st of June, 1st of July, 1st of August, 1st. Okay, so hopefully you can see here that this is definitely not going to be random. Okay, this is actually systematic sampling. Systematic sampling. Okay, suggest 2 alternative sampling methods and give one advantage and one disadvantage of each in this context. Okay, so let's recap what sampling methods we have learned. So we've learned systematic, which is above. We've learned random sampling, which is self-explanatory. Okay, and then the last one we've learned is something called stratified sampling. Okay, what stratified sampling is say you had 80 people in your population and 40 of them were year 12, 40 of them were year 13, and you want to do a sample of 40, then you need the same proportion of our 2 data points. Okay, you stratify, you take it into a smaller amount, but you keep the proportions. You see how we have 50-50 year 12, year 13 split. Here we also need a 50-50 year 12, year 13 split. Okay, so stratified in this case doesn't make sense. Okay, so we're looking at to be random sampling and systematic. Okay, to be honest, there's lots of answers you can write here. But the first one I'm going to look at this random sampling. So we're going to look at random sampling. Okay, to choose our, how many were there? 1, 2, 3. To choose our 6 dates. Okay, so we use random sampling. You know the kind of 3 marker that's used. So use a random number generator, label your data points from 1 to how many there are, and then pick our 6 dates in that, and then we're using those times. Okay, and then also we can do a bit of a mix. Okay, this might be unclear that we can mix them, but we can mix them. Okay, we make something random and then we do it systematic, so we can randomize the start date. Okay, so randomized start date, so you're picking a number between 1 and 30, because we don't have February in there, so we're fine. Yeah, pick a number between 1 and 30, randomize it, and then we're all good to go. And then systematically do it in every month. Okay, and the reason why this is May to October is this is what our data set is. Our data set is May to October. Okay, that is what we need to know about a large data set that is May to October. Okay, so advantage and disadvantage. Okay, the advantage of random sampling is always that it is no bias. Okay, so there's no bias. Okay, easy, cheap, fine, but the main thing here is there's no bias. Okay, but the disadvantage here, okay, random something, it may not represent, or it may not represent whole sample. Okay, so the sampling frame, which is kind of this range May to October, it might have, even though it's random, it might have it all in June. Okay, and as you can see, June's a really dry month. That's not going to represent our whole sample. Okay, and then this mix has got similar thing. Okay, it's got a similar advantage and disadvantage for when we're kind of mixing these. Okay, so an advantage is that we're covering every month. Okay, this is doing what the other one didn't. Okay, alright, you're covering every month. You will have a data point from May, June, July, August. Okay, but a disadvantage, because we're systematic, because we're doing it, you know, it might be on the 6th, on the 6th, on the 6th. Okay, you know, that bias can occur. Okay, or patterns. Okay, because patterns can occur. Okay, and there's this unintentional bias that happens when you do the 6th, when you kind of repeat it in a set kind of time frame. Okay, perfect. So that's B. C, discrete or continuous. Okay, is rainfall discrete or continuous? Okay, hopefully we know this is continuous. Okay, because continuous data is something that you can keep getting more and more accurate. Okay, because these are numbers, Discrete is kind of hair color, you know, is it brown, is it grey, you know, you can't get more exact there. Okay, perfect. Calculate the mean of the 6 data point values. Okay, so you whip this in your calculator, you add them all up. So we've got 9 plus 1 plus 32 plus 4.1 plus 3. Okay, and divide that by 6, and we get 8.18. Okay, so what we done, we just added up all the data points. Okay, perfect. So that has found the mean of the 6 data points there. And comment on the reliability of this value as an estimate for the mean. Okay, not going to be reliable. Always why? Well, not the full year. Okay, so not representative of the whole of 2015. Okay, it wants, can we represent the whole of 2015 in Beijing? Well, we've only got May to October. Okay, so where's January, where's February, where's March? Alright, there you go. That's why it's not reliable.